Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day. Thank you all for joining us today on EP Live. We've got an amazing show for you today, but I also want to start things off with something very cool. We partnered with Marvel Canada to offer one of 3 4K UHD Blu-rays. Got to make sure I got all those names in there right, of the Avengers Infinity War, which is the biggest movie of 2018, as we all know. So we've got a contest going. The best way to find out about it is on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Electric Playground. You got to give us the Marvel Cinematic Universe movie that's impacted you the most and why, and we're going to choose the most creative answers and give away 3 4K Blu-rays. It's open to everybody in Canada, only Canadian residents, and unfortunately not in Quebec. So it's Canada excluding Quebec. Sorry about that. But this rundown is going out to our buddy Daniel Campbell, who says, "My daughter and I are big fans of the show." You know, when you bring your daughter into this, you get me right here, don't you, Daniel? This rundown is all yours. We might be on the verge of seeing a brand new game from the studio that brought us the most played PC game of all time. League of Legends developer Riot Games is currently developing several unannounced new projects. Studio co-founder Mark Merrill revealed the news while speaking with Variety, saying that they've been working on new games for a while now and are taking their time to explore different opportunities and figure out which ideas work best with players. He didn't reveal any specific details about what their unannounced new game or games might be, but we can make a guess. Last week, Merrill asked fans on Twitter if they'd like to see the studio create an MMO, leading to speculation that a League of Legends themed MMO is on the way. Whatever their new game is, it would finally help to put the S in Riot Games. League of Legends is the first and so far only game that they've created. I think this is great news. Riot Games has been able to make tons and tons of money and be one of the biggest names in the games industry for a while now. They have made something unbelievably attractive to many, many millions of players, and I must confess, I've only touched League of Legends like once or something. I didn't stick with it, mostly because I don't play these games that never end kind of thing, you know? But I have mad appreciation for what they have been able to do, and I would like to see some other stuff. I'd like to see the money that they made reinvested into some brand new ideas, not just, making their vast community happy with new additions to League of Legends, which I can't fault them for. They've made a really, really solid game there. So congrats to Riot Games if this is happening, and to all of you developers that have been working and toiling away on these secret surprises. Hopefully we'll find out soon. Activision and Bungie are doing everything they can to win back players and bring newcomers into Destiny 2. Bungie has announced that the Destiny 2 Forsaken expansion will be getting a more expensive Legendary Collection, which bundles the expansion with the base game and the 2 existing DLC packs, Curse of Osiris and Warmind. Forsaken will also come with a character boost, which automatically levels you up to where you need to be in order to jump right into the new content. Basically, Bungie wants to sweeten the deal as much as possible in order to make players jump back in. When Destiny 2 launched last year, it was met with harsh criticism over a lack of new content and complaints about its progression system, something that Bungie has been tweaking ever since. More new changes to the progression system are coming alongside the Forsaken expansion, and it arrives September 4th, so we don't have much time to wait here. Listen, I've been a big fan of what is in Destiny 2. I really enjoyed the campaign, and I enjoyed the multiplayer stuff, but I did hit that saturation point after I got to about the 320 level point. I had seen tons and tons of all of the stuff. I've played through both of their recent expansions. I am looking forward to jumping back in with Forsaken, but yes, the heat is on with Bungie to provide something that is really going to shake up the franchise. And, they've crafted such an awesome world, and they're taking good steps in telling stories within this world, but I almost feel like we should be getting offshoots like Splinter games that give us a little bit more detail, make a third-person action adventure thing with Cade 6 or something like that, just so we can flesh out the experiences. And maybe some of that stuff should be free DLC or downloadable for community members if they or access new gameplay variants after you reach a certain point in the sort of core first-person gameplay. I know it would mix things up, but they've crafted a universe, not just a first-person game series. And as we saw with Halo, and Microsoft has smartly worked with other studios. They've created twin-stick shooters. There's a Halo arcade game. There's the RTS series that is a part of the Halo universe. I think Destiny needs a little bit more of that enrichment as well. And honestly, the vehicles that are included in Destiny have been so cool, but you only really use them to travel. You know, you get into some conflict and stuff on some of these tanks and things, but it would be great to get some kind of space battle part of the Destiny experience. Anyways, I am looking forward to playing Forsaken. The thing that I will say about Destiny 1 and 2 is that it's so fun to play. Like the mechanics are just wonderful, and they got us there. They do just need to flesh out and give us more storytelling and more narrative and more compelling hooks to stay in. But let's hope Forsaken does that. We'll find out on September 4th. And another troubled game might be finally out of rough waters. Microsoft and Rare have announced that their pirate game, Sea of Thieves, has just crossed the 5 million player threshold. That number is across both the Xbox One and PC and represents the total number of people who have played the game. So Rare hasn't said exactly how many players are active. Still, this seems like an impressive turnaround for the game. When it launched earlier this year, many players felt that there just wasn't enough to do, so Rare has been filling the seas with new content ever since. The latest update, Cursed Sails, just launched yesterday, and the next update, Forsaken Shores, will follow in September. So we've got the Forsaken update for Destiny 2 and Forsaken Shores for Sea of Thieves. I've been playing No Man's Sky. I'll be talking about that a little bit later today on EP Live, but as I've been playing No Man's Sky, I've thought to myself, listen, I need to jump back into Sea of Thieves and see how much that experience has grown. I was impressed with what I saw when it launched, but I did sort of plateau. I did sort of feel like, okay, I've seen this, I got it. And now I want to go back in and see if it does feel richer and more fulfilling. And I think one of the challenges is that it's set in the past, and there's a finite amount of technology and there's a finite amount of experience that we would really expect in a pirate game at that, as opposed to something like Destiny, which can stretch on to different galaxies and you can visit planets and they can have a whole different kind of technology tree. With pirates, you kind of know what you're going to get, a little, magical, metaphysical with skeletons and things like that, and Davy Jones's locker, and then you're going to be doing a lot of plundering and all of this sounds fun, by the way, but I feel like the Rare team may have painted themselves into a corner by being so specific with the pirate theme, because the technology that's on display in this game is astounding. It's a beautiful game, and it really does take your breath away when you first experience it. The question is how long will you go back and how long will you re-experience it? I do have a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of friends on Twitter that are partnered up and they play it all the time, so I am curious to jump back in. Now, Nintendo is raking in the dough with the Switch, but that's not their only big seller. Their free-to-play mobile game Fire Emblem Heroes has earned more than $400 million since it launched last year. That's according to the mobile analytics company Sensor Tower, which estimates that Heroes sees an average revenue of $20 million a month. If these numbers are correct, it easily makes Fire Emblem Heroes the most successful Nintendo mobile game and means that their future mobile titles will likely use a similar payment method. Nintendo is rumored to be working on a Zelda mobile game, but it is yet to be officially announced. And I think there's a Mario Kart thing coming as well. Mobile's going to play an important part in Nintendo's future for sure, but I also feel like they are doubling down with the Switch. It's selling very well. I think that it is probably pulling a lot of mobile Nintendo fans away from their mobile experiences in some way, and as we're seeing with Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, it feels like the Pokemon Go thing is being a little bit threatened by the Switch game. And obviously, the Switch is going to have to sell millions and millions and millions and millions of units to even come close to comparing with the install base of mobile phones out there. But I feel like they're going to start to use the mobile stuff even more so to push people to, more robust experiences on the Switch. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of this stuff plays out. But mobile is definitely a factor. If at nothing else, it's kind of like a cool commercial for what the core Nintendo experience is going to be. But I really feel that Nintendo is going to continue along this track of a console handheld hybrid system for a very long time. The challenging thing for the company in the face of success on mobile and success with Switch is, where does a handheld console fit in there anymore? Does a new 3DS or a new Game Boy or whatever, does it even make sense anymore? Is it going to be a Switch Junior? That is something that I'm very curious about. But Nintendo is doing okay. We don't need to be concerned about them right now. That's going to do it for our rundown today. Let's get cooking on this day and everything cool. Welcome to This Day and Everything Cool for August 1st. Video killed the radio star. On this day in 1981, the television landscape was changed forever. MTV, an abbreviation for music television, began broadcasting for the very first time at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Music videos and live concert performances had been shown on traditional broadcast television since the 1950s, and executives at Warner Cable got the idea to create an entire channel dedicated to music in a bid to create more programming as they launched new multi-channel cable networks. The first video shown on MTV was, what else? Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles. The network exploded in popularity, surprising the executives, and as its viewership grew and grew, it started to have a huge impact on the music industry itself. Record labels realized that songs and albums featured on MTV were selling much better than songs that were just played on the radio, which soon meant that pretty much every album had to have at least one big song with its own video. MTV started dropping in popularity in the 2000s as more and more people began watching music videos online, so the network has since relied mostly on original programming in order to keep its viewers. I guess you could say that the internet killed the video star. All right, my friends, I have spent some more time in No Man's Sky. We streamed a little bit of it the other day, and it's been very, very present in my mind. I've played about another 10 hours or so of the game. We played some of the opening stuff where we streamed it, and Brody, a friend of the show, came in and joined me, and we played a little bit of cooperative play. I also played a little bit more that evening, and he also joined me again, so I got a good kind of feel of what it's like to play with friends. It's very fun. And I also played through the opening sequence there, and I also booted up my save game and played a little bit later on into No Man's Sky with a better ship and more stuff. And then I also checked it out on the Xbox One X. It looks incredible on the X. I think they're pretty comparable to PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X versions of No Man's Sky Next. Is it great? Is it what we wanted out of No Man's Sky? I think that it's going much further in the direction of it being a supremely cool, definitive, awesome, explore the universe type of experience out there. I predicted when I reviewed No Man's Sky originally that Hello Games was going to update a lot of content, and it was going to be something that the developers were not going to leave behind for a long time. It was going to be, I sort of thought that they were going to think of it as their Minecraft. And honestly, if you go into the creative mode in the game, there's a bunch of different, you can play survival, you can play like permadeath mode, and you can play like the normal mode where you're just exploring and going out on missions and stuff. But if you play creative mode, you have a lot, limitless resources, and you can just build stuff, which is akin very much to a Minecraft type of experience. And of course, you can jump into the vehicles and race around on tracks that you pop down, and you can do a whole bunch of really cool things within the game. If you're playing the normal mode, you are still kind of dealing with all of the resource management and the frustrating lack of room in your ship and in your exosuit. You're constantly having to sort of deal with using up resources, having to go and collect resources. So that is still a big part of the experience, and it's very time consuming. The thing about this game, and I'm one of those people that doesn't mind it, honestly, because I just enjoy my escape with it. It's a very zen, chill experience. Even when you're being hunted by pirates or something out in space, this is a very, I find, just chill, relax, escape into a type of game. I don't want to say it's a stoner's dream game, but it's a stoner's dream game. You can just sort of go around and land your ship and go and, extract some stuff from a flower, or use your mining laser to, grab a bunch of resources that you need out of the rocks there. I did find myself at one point in the game where I got buried in a cave. I actually went up to this giant monolithic sort of rock structure, and in the middle there was this big cavern, so I jumped into it, just wanted to see what was at the bottom. There was some poisonous plants and things like that, but I had to get out, and my jetpack wouldn't let me get up, so I used the terrain deformation laser, and I sort of I bore out my own tunnel to escape from that, and I thought that was a super cool experience as well. The big things about Next are, and I jumped into freighters and stuff as well, which is a new thing here. You can actually command freighters, and the big thing, though, is that you can play with other people. And as a cooperative experience, this is going to be a ton of fun. It adds a lot more value, I think, to the core experience. But I just dug sort of going off on the branching missions. I'd talk to an alien, and the alien would suggest go off and scan 3 different animals, and then come back and see me, and the rewards would be there. I was finding, as I had when I first started playing this in 2016, all kinds of alien structures that I would learn new words from. All of those elements have been finessed. So the aliens look better. There's more animation. The fact that you can customize your avatar is really cool, but also necessary because now you can play cooperatively. Or you can challenge each other too. You can run into other humans and they can start shooting at you. And because this is such a game of survival and loot, and whoever has the best stuff wins kind of thing, you got to watch out who you run into out there. But obviously the universe of this game is enormous. It's fun to explore. But the big thing for me in this game is the visuals have been kicked up quite a bit. But I love the third-person mode. You can play it in first person. You can play it just like you could in 2016. But playing it in third person turns the experience into a slightly different game. It's not completely different. It feels fresh because I put it away for a while, but I've come back to it. And playing it in third person does kind of give me that Grand Theft spaceship kind of thing, and the animations on your character are pretty cool. You discover that you can climb up ladders and things like that when you're going into big tower structures. But there is a ton of repetition in the game, whether you play first person, third person, whatever you're going to do. You're going to see a lot of similar kinds of objects and plants and animals from planet to planet. At least they've added the ringed planets and some cool clouds and some beautiful sunsets. And the photo mode is something to really take advantage of as well, because you can position the sun and you can put the camera wherever you want. It's just a chill escape. And I love it for that. I love the game for that. I love the game, period. I thought it was awesome in 2016 as well. I think it's more awesome in 2018, but I know it's not going to be for everybody because the conflicts and the content come at its very deliberately slow pace, and then all of a sudden you're dead, and you got to go back to your grave and find all of the stuff that you collected again, and try to cram it into your very sort of lean, closet space that you have in your exosuit or in your spacecraft, and you're constantly coveting other people's spacecrafts when you land on bases and things like that. You're looking over there like, ooh, I want that, but you don't have enough credits because you got to go off and scan things or do the missions or find some valuable loot, which you won't have room for. So you're going to run into frustrations, and you're going to have patience. But god damn, it's a beautiful game, and it's a really, really fun way for me to just zen out and just be in space, And I really hope the rumors of a VR experience for this are true. This would be profoundly rich if this was a VR experience you could put on the helmet and just totally disappear. This is the game that I don't want to stop playing. I don't want to, but I feel like we have to talk about it. I have to kind of give you my thoughts on it and give it a score, a nice tidy little number for it. But this is an eternal game. This is one of those never-ending, so bountiful it's ridiculous kind of games that won't be for everybody because of the big breaths, and what's interesting is I took a break from playing No Man's Sky last night just before I went to bed, and I played another round of Fortnite, and the difference between an experience like Fortnite, where there's a loneliness to Fortnite, but only until they find you, and you're constantly on your edge of your toes, edge of your seat, trying to figure out, where you should go and how you should be positioned and what you should build in order to beat the other person. This is a totally different type of experience. You're alone. Even in when you play cooperatively up to 4 players and you're building a base or whatever, you're very alone in this game. You'll see ships flying over and you'll encounter other alien NPCs and stuff like that. But and there's even like creatures that are like right out of Alien. They call them biological hazards or something, or biological, like you look in these crazy eggs, and then all of a sudden these creatures come out and they come en masse to kill you. It's very frightening. And the pirates gang up on you as well. I still love this game, and it's getting better and better. And I know that Sean Murray and his team at Hello Games are saying, look, a lot of people have stuck with this. A lot of people are coming back to this, and they have no end in sight for adding new content. They're adding new stuff every week. There's they've posted something online where you can chart a part of the galaxy, and they're letting the players kind of find different planets and add data and all that stuff to this. It's an amazing escape, guys. That's all I can say. I'm going to give No Man's Sky next in my re-review. I think I gave it about an 8.5 the first time I reviewed it. It's better now, and it's not dropping in my estimation. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. But right now, it's time for us to go to a buried treasure. Back in the 90s, the San Francisco Rush arcade games were ubiquitous. They were everywhere. It was a great multiplayer competition set up all over the place. And of course, Midway wanted to follow up with a sequel. They came out with San Francisco Rush 2049 in 1999. And then in the year 2000, the game was actually ported to the Dreamcast and also the Nintendo 64. Ed Logg, a famous Midway designer, actually worked on this game. I think I got an interview with him somewhere in my archives about this title. But San Francisco Rush 2049 kind of doubled down on the whole idea of these insane jumps and the massive, kind of air that you would get in San Francisco Rush. And they added wings to the cars and all kinds of great new kind of sci-fi touches to this thing. There was also like a stunt mode in this title, which was really about how much air you could pull off and the adjustments that you could make midair. It was a really, really slick Dreamcast title, especially. That's the one that I think I played the most. Beautiful graphics, an insane sense of speed, lots and lots of crazy stunts. They really should bring this back. I think Warner Brothers probably has the rights to the San Francisco Rush games, and it would be great to kind of revisit this. San Francisco remains an excellent place to pull off all these fantastic driving scenarios because it's a crazy city filled with massive jumps in air and twists and turns and tiny streets and buildings to blast through, and you could do all that in San Francisco Rush 2049. It's probably going to be a little bit tricky to find and get working on a Dreamcast, but they did actually bring this thing to one of the Midway Arcade Treasures collections for the PS2 original Xbox and the GameCube, so you might be able to find it there. But San Francisco 2049 and basically all of the San Francisco Rush games definitely remain buried treasures. I can see that my 9 for No Man's Sky has set the chat alight, which is very cool. Good to see you, Warco A, and Blade Blur, Blair Farrell, Terrence Foreman, who saw my Deadpool shirt in the San Francisco Rush 2049. What an incredible game, huh? Fat Chimp says give it No Man's Sky a 7 out of 10. I'm, part of my reasoning for loving it so much is also the story behind its creation and just that the small team and the ambition and the insanity of that experience. But anyways, it's time for us to move on because something cool came in the mail. I got a very cool book. It's called the Super Nintendo Omnibus. It's the Super Nintendo and its games, and it's written by a guy named Brett Weiss. And it's a massive, massive book. Blake's going to cut to the other angle so you can see the cover here. And this thing is a really, really big deep dive. This is volume 1, I just noticed, but it's a really big deep dive into all of the Super Nintendo games, or at least some of them because it's volume 1, that came out during what I would say is still probably... It's near the top. I don't know if it's the best video game system of all time now. It was for me for a long time, but they're like PlayStation 4 and the Switch make some pretty compelling arguments as well. But this game has, this book has stories on all the games and lots of beautiful art. I'll read you a little bit from here, but I just wanted to flip through some of the pages. I don't know if you guys can see this okay. It's a massive book. It's about 400 pages. Art on every page and lots of details on all of the Super Nintendo games that we have loved over the years. There's the Addams Family and stuff. Let's see what we got. The Adventures of Dr. Franken. It's a little tricky for me to read it while I'm showing it off. So I'm gonna read a couple things and then I'll show it to you. Let's pick one here. I want to do something great here. Okay, this was a pretty solid game. This is Aladdin, Disney's Aladdin. Inside or Insight, they have all of these little bubbles and stuff in here. Came out in 1993. It was a single-player game, side-scrolling platformer, insider insight. When I got this game, I had previously been unaware that Capcom had done an SNES version of Aladdin. I was only aware of the Sega Genesis version released by Virgin Games. I was a bit hesitant when first playing because the gameplay was drastically different, but quickly my worries were met with some of the best gameplay I had ever experienced on the SNES. Capcom hit the nail on the head with Aladdin. Some of my favorite memories of playing the game were inside the genie's lamp, escape from the Cave of Wonders on the magic carpet, and of course playing through the whole new world stage. That was from Eric Perez. Yeah, and so you get pictures of the game boxes, pictures of the cartridge itself. I'm sure there's tons of screenshots in here. This is an extraordinary gift. I can't really review it yet because I've just opened it up, but I wanted to show it to you guys. And I'll flip through a few more pages here and see if I can find something else cool. And I wonder if it's all alphabetized and then it ends with, yes, it goes up into the M's. So presumably N through Z is still, or Z for the Americans watching, is still coming out in a volume 2. Which now I have to get because I'm a collector. So Brett Weiss, if you're watching this, hurry up and finish that book and get it to me because the set is not complete. Let's see, we got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in here, Mario's Time Machine, Mario Paint. Oh yes, I'm in the M's. So I have a lot of Mario game. Mario early years, fun with numbers. Remember they used to make all those edutainment titles with Mario? Mario is missing. The Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse. Let's see. Here we go. The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. Oh, and this is great. So they have insider insights in here from various different, I guess, journalists and YouTubers and stuff like that. We've got Aaron Hawley, Andy Slavin, and Larry Looper Jr. The concept of parallel universes and other sci-fi or paranormal ideas fascinated me when I was a kid. That's from Aaron Hawley. And then, of course, like that, The Legend of Zelda gets the 2-page spread kind of thing right there, right? At least 2 pages. There might be more here. But this is super cool. This is going to be an awesome coffee table book to just peruse and go through and find out little nuggets. Here's a quote about Legend of Zelda. Few video game series carry the reverence the video game industry holds for The Legend of Zelda. So nothing compares to Zelda, probably, is what they're saying there. With the sole exception of the Super Mario games, no other series produces such consistently great games. There are points to be made for which Zelda game is the best today, but for a long time, The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, was the pinnacle of the series. I would agree with that. Yeah, the Super Nintendo version of this game was incredible. We've got Indiana Jones's Greatest Adventures in here, The Incredible Hulk. When you see a book like this, and you see these cartridges, I'm sure there's lots of very rare carts in here. You just want to rip it off the page and slap it into the machine and start playing right away, you know? It's just so damn cool. But this is a nice way to honor the history of this machine and all of the incredible software that came out for it. And if they're making 2 huge 400-page books, that's a lot of storytelling. There's a lot of great games for this machine. Oh, this is cool. This is like... somebody crafted some pretty cool Super Nintendo fan art, I think, right in the middle there. There's a nice 2-pager right there. This is delightful. So thank you to Schiffer Publishing and to Brett Weiss, the author of this, and all of the people that did the art direction on the book. Very cool stuff. It's called the SNES Omnibus. All right, now it's time for us to find out about Divinity 2. Let's take a look.
The world is being torn asunder, and the worst is yet to come.
So Divinity Original Sin 2 is a very systemic isometric RPG with turn-based combat, where you and a party of up to 4 players, you play source wielders, sorcerers in the game. You need to use all of your skills and abilities to basically save the world from the gods that have abandoned it. The interesting thing about this game is, although it's cooperative, only one of you will have the chance in the end to become the new god. So even if you're playing cooperatively, at some point you'll have to make a choice in your party of which of you will become the new god and save the world. So the Definitive Edition exploration came because we looked at the review scores. So we're very proud of our 93 Metacritic rating and all of the awards that we won. But we figured, it could be better. We're very blessed with the fact that the game sells over a long period of time. We want to make sure that anything that we're not happy with and the players weren't happy with, we've ironed out. We started to look at all of the issues and all of the things that we think could be polished out. And we came up with this 45-page document of changes that mean a lot to the existing players and will mean a huge amount to the new players that haven't played it. So for the new players, for example, we have a new journal system, which allows you to better keep track of your quests, all of the items that you have in your inventory to see what they're for and where you have to go. So it's not a game that holds your hand, but it is a game that gives you all the tools necessary to solve quests in the ways that you think are interesting or fun. So one of the other changes we have as well is the whole third act of the game, which is about 30 to 40 hours of content, has been completely remade, rescripted, and rewritten as well. So there's going to be a lot of content that's there for existing players, but also a lot of improvements and content there that will be enjoyed by the new players. On PC, anyone that owns DOS 2 will get all of these changes for free on PC. If you're playing on Steam, you'll launch the game on a new app ID. Unfortunately, the saves won't be compatible between DOS 2 and the Definitive Edition, and the reason for that is that there are simply too many changes in the game to make that possible. But we'll always allow you to launch the classic version of the game. So that will be rebranded to the classic version, and you'll have a new launcher from which you'll be able to select if you want to play Definitive Edition or the classic version of the game.
You were my home once.
So one of the things that makes our game unique is that each of the 6 races you have, human, dwarf, elf, undead, or lizard men, have racial traits that really define the experience in many different ways in and out of combat. So I'll give you an example. If I'm playing as Fane is an undead, which means that if he walks around the world with his face uncovered, he'll be attacked on sight because he's an undead. It's disgusting. People are afraid of him. So you'll be able to first cowl yourself with a hood, for example, or use the Mask of Changes in order to emulate other characters and become other different races in the game to remain undetected. Other cool things about Fane, for example, is that because you're an undead, you'll have a racial ability which allows you in combat to play dead because you're a skeleton. You can also carve your finger into a key and unlock doors. Things that are very specific to this race. So a couple of other examples: if you're playing a lizard, you can dig up holes in the ground with your claws. If you're playing an elf, you can eat the remains of dead people in the world and get their distant memories. And each character will also unlock dialogue options and give you a completely different journey. So each of the origin characters in these different races have their own story within that overarching story. And if you're making your own character, for example, you can ascribe tags which give you the similar kind of experience that's different to everyone else. So no one person will have the same playthrough.
You were overrun by these elves, dwarves, humans. They meddled with a power they didn't understand.
So another cool thing about Divinity Original Sin 2, which exists in the Definitive Edition, of course, is the sheer amount of ways you have to solve quests. So one very simple example is that if you have a quest and you're not sure what to do, you can kill the quest giver. There you go, the quest solved. Other ways you can do it: if you're looking for a key or a way to disarm a trap, you can use your combat skills to burn down the door. You don't need the key anymore. Or you can use a glove that you found from a guy who's trying to split your party to teleport your way across with an ability you wouldn't have if you didn't explore the world and look for these kinds of things. So it's really important in our game that we reward exploration. Every character you talk to, every character you kill is important in the game, and you'll be rewarded in some way, positively or negatively, for the exploration and the dialogues that you have with characters in the game.
Ride like the wind, my clacking friend!
So Divinity Original Sin 2 is already available on the Xbox One game preview program. You can download the first 3 hours for free. If you pre-order now, you can play the entire Act 1, which is about 20 hours of content, and then we'll be launching the full game on Xbox One and PS4 this August, and I hope you have fun.
All right, you guys, we got a picture that I haven't talked about on the show yet from Chris Kioski. I hope I'm saying his name right. Proud to be repping the best video game and all things cool channel out there. Keep it up, Victor Lucas, he says. And he's got this awesome EPN shirt there and a nice little smirk on his face right there. Very cool looking dude. Thank you, Chris. Thanks for your support. The shirt looks amazing on you. And we're not done with reviews on the run today. I watched a little movie which was a lot of fun to watch as I was bouncing back and forth between No Man's Sky. This one's called Ready Player One. You might have heard of it. It came out on Blu-ray, and Warner Brothers sent me the disc. Let's take a look. Yesterday, I treated myself to checking out Ready Player One on Blu-ray. Warner Brothers sent me the disc to review for you guys, and it's been a while since I saw it in the theater. I saw it with Johnny Millennium for Film Fury, and we both had a really good time at the movie. And yes, we recognize that the story for Ready Player One on screen, as directed by Steven Spielberg, is a different story in lots of ways from the Ernie Klein book of the same name. It's not exactly the same, material, but I think what's distilled onto the screen is a very loving homage to everything that's been painted in the book by Ernie Klein. This is a movie that's so rife with lots of detail and so many layers to kind of, sift through and recognize all of the sort of elements that are popped into this movie. And I think it was built like that. It was crafted to kind of almost congeal all of pop culture that we have known and loved since the 1980s. Of course, it's a huge tip of the hat to everything from the 1980s. People are wearing Michael Jackson jackets. We're seeing Freddy Krueger pop up in there. We're seeing all kinds of, famous movie characters and famous characters from the comic books. Of course, there's tons of video games and stuff in this movie as well. And it's incredible. And it's almost like your action figure collection has been, brought to life, and you get to jump in and you get to experience all of these different characters. It cynically, it does feel like, somebody went sort of picking at all of the hottest properties out there that they could afford, and they licensed them and they got them into this movie. And you can kind of read the credits at the end of the film, and you can see exactly who was talked to: Bethesda and Blizzard and all kinds of other people that we know and love that make us great things. But it does feel I think also in the hands of Steven Spielberg, it does feel a little bit like it's a licensed property unto itself. It's like a churn of all of these licensed characters that we love. That's not to say that it's not incredibly enjoyable, and that's not to say that the root of our love for these properties isn't genuine, because it is. And I think that's what Ernie Klein was tapping into when he wrote the book, is that these pop culture, elements, these movie moments, these videos, these comics that we read, these television shows that we loved, they all did matter to us in this generation. And so to see this culmination, it's really thrilling. It's really fun. Could it have been a better film? I think so. I think absolutely there could have been. I've said this before, but I think it's really missing a lot more Steven Spielberg properties in here. There's no Indiana Jones. We're not getting Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And those are seminal works. So many of his films are seminal works that I think should have been incorporated in the tale and in the storytelling. Watching the behind the scenes on this movie, at first I said, look, Spielberg probably shouldn't have directed this. He should have produced it, and he should have let somebody else kind of honor him and give him the homage. But when I watch the behind the scenes and I see the childlike enthusiasm that Spielberg had for this great challenge at certain points in the making of stuff, which is absolutely incredible and absolutely makes this disc a must-watch. It's not just everybody kissing everybody's butt and telling people how great everybody is to work with. There's some of that for sure, as there is in almost every behind the scenes. What's really impressive is to see Spielberg genuinely interact and work with the actors and work with the crew, and come forward with the fact that he was really directing like 4 different movies at once. He was directing the live action stuff, which he shot on film. He also picked up the camera and did some VR filmmaking inside of the VR space. There's also the idea that the digital comes to life in the real world as well, and there's a physicality to the real world sets, which we explore. Spielberg worked with the production designer that had been working with Wes Anderson's films, so there's an attention to detail there, which is really well represented. I don't think there's anything that you can really say to fault the production design or even the cartoony, video gamey aesthetic of all of the the CG rendered animated sequences. It's all so thrilling. I think what's missing from here maybe is just a little bit more menace, a little bit more meat. But I really love this experience of revisiting Ready Player One. I think this is a phenomenal disc. You can certainly have complaints and quibbles with this thing for sure, but this needs to be collected, particularly if you're a fan of shows like The Electric Playground. I'm going to give Ready Player One on Blu-ray a 9 out of 10. Reading some of your comments right here. Yes, and also Ready Player One on Blu-ray made me very, very happy, and that score is also, it's reflective of all the behind-the-scenes stuff. It's not just the movie, it's this as a home video viewing experience. Wonderful. Paul Casilio, thank you for the super chat, brother. That's very nice. Vic having a game that makes him happy and chill. That's exactly what No Man's Sky does for me. And Terrence Foreman says, be like 90 years old and still playing No Man's Sky. I think that might be Hello Games' dream and also probably nightmare, because they would probably still be supporting the game in some way. Yeah, that's a game that never ends. I'm playing a game right now. It's called Pool Panic, and it's on the Nintendo Switch, and it's got the most annoying sound, so I want to get past this sound. It's in my ear right now. Let's move beyond this. Get Blake Siefkin up here. Let's do some Let's Play and chat. Remember, help us out if you've got a chat, because we are live. Just as a reminder, this is part of our live stream. And the chat is filled with lots of great people. Hi, Kian Kashani and Ms. Hojat, or MSH Hojat. I don't know how to say. I see you in the comments all the time, and I love that. I haven't really liked any of the superhero movies that I've seen aside from the X-Men ones. I've got Ken, Jack, Ben in there. Wally, is that Wally? Wesley West. Wally West is somebody else. Tyler Fisher, great to see you, brother. Sam I Am 111. It's always wonderful to see the regular folks in here. It's incredible.
Hi,
okay,
everyone.
so we're gonna play a little Pool Panic and get beyond this annoying sound, which is the pool cue scratching
Sure,
on the
that's not
chalk.
a problem with the
No, it's
cables
not.
or something?
No, I had to get the pool cue. So this is a billiards-themed role-playing experience from Adult Swim Games. Just getting my rhythm back. And we're right at the very beginning. I haven't played this at all. It's the first time touching it. Red ball, to your mark. Okay, so I think it's teaching me the gameplay. Okay, cool. So I'm going to now fire. Boom. Oh, I scratched.
This is not based on like an Adult Swim TV show.
I don't know. Could be. Oh, so I scratched. I went off into the corner pocket there. Okay, back on your mark. Okay, so what a cool idea.
Jordan Cunningham, question. Hey Vic, have you seen that the Forsaken N64 first-person shooter game is getting an Xbox One remaster?
I didn't see that, but I wasn't a huge fan of that Forsaken game. I don't remember thinking of it as one of the best games out there, but that's cool. It's cool that I think that was an Acclaim game back in the day.
Yeah, it's been on GOG for a while too.
Okay, gotcha.
There's a Windows version. Yeah.
Okay, so I got to come back to the point right there. Are you a big fan of that game, Jordan?
I'm guessing so, yeah. That's cool that they're remastering it, though. It must have been successful, right, if they did that.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'm all for hanging on. I mean, that's why we do the Buried Treasures all the time. I'm all for all of these classic games getting their love, you know? Okay, don't fire until I say hold that aim. Okay, so I'm learning the mechanics here.
Sam I Am.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to call him Samian. Sam I Am 111. Question, Vic, do you think we will hear more from... You okay?
Yeah.
Do you think we'll hear more from Amazon Game Studios and their projects?
That's a good question. I think they're running into some issues over there. Because it's taken forever.
And Jeff Bezos is really strapped for cash right now, too.
I think I mean, they've sunk so much money. There's no way. I scratched again. They've sunk so much money. There's no way that we won't be hearing about them soon. But wow, it's taken a long time. They've announced all kinds of stuff. They went into the engine business, and I don't know how successful that's been so far.
They canceled. What was that game they canceled? That
I can't remember what it was called.
is that fighting game thing that was meant to be an esports thing?
Yes, yeah, they were
Twitch?
pushing for esports like crazy. You kind of have to let esports find you, I think. Right? You don't say,
Yeah.
I'm making an esports game.
It's like making a cinematic universe from
Yes.
the get-go.
Totally.
You just got to make a good movie. And
Good
then,
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just got to make a good game and then see where they're.
Got to get the people there, right?
Question from Blair Farrell. Do you have an Oculus?
Yes. I haven't booted it up in a while, and I'm due for that.
Specifically wants to know if you're going to try out the new Marvel Powers VR game.
Yes.
That game looks awesome.
Yeah, is it out already?
I think it is soft launch. Let me see. I want to say it like just came out.
Yeah, I'm totally due for some VR time. I have got to set up all the VR things and shoot myself with the headset on for a little bit. Okay, so what am I doing wrong?
And
Okay,
speaking of Marvel, don't forget about our Avengers Infinity War contest
that's
on
right.
our Facebook page.
That's right. You can win the 4K Blu-ray.
Facebook.com/Electric Playground.
That's right.
And will that 4K Blu-ray work? Did they have the regular Blu-ray for those of us who don't have a...
That's right. It has the regular Blu-ray and probably a DVD. They usually come. Okay. I know what I'm doing. I'm not waiting until he says fire. Okay.
They don't have a release date
For what?
on the website for this game, for the
the
Marvel
game?
VR game. Yeah. People have reviews, so I'm assuming it's.
There's reviews of it already?
I'm assuming it's probably coming out very shortly.
Okay.
Okay. What's the
Okay.
Okay, Oculus, update your website.
Walking when locked on will track the ball. Follow me over to here. And now fire. Okay. Beautiful. Okay.
So is it kind of a pool game, or
Yeah.
is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Okay, so come back over here. Okay, red ball, come back here. Right, now take a soft shot at this ball. Okay, so. That was too hard. So how do I slow that down? Okay. The animations are hilarious. I'm a cue ball with a giant happy face.
Yeah, it looks like an Adult Swim TV show.
Okay. Okay, now fire, but... Oh, I see. Oh, come on, that wasn't that hard. He speaks like an angry Rare character. You know how Rare had all those funny voices? Okay. Not hard enough. That was crap. Okay.
Tyler Fisher is asking, he sent you a tweet about diversity, making a segment on diversity. Did you see that?
I did. He wanted to do a segment about diversity in media.
That's a big issue. I don't know if that could be covered in one segment, right?
Yeah, I think we just keep talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been talking about it for ever, I think.
Yeah.
Everyone has.
I mean, maybe we could do some kind of an editorial about the way content is changing and the way that you know the character definition is starting to change and improve in a lot of these titles. Okay.
Hold on. Blair Farrell says, now that it's Let's Play in chat, Vic, look for my stories in the SNES Omnibus. Do you have,
Oh my
Blair
goodness,
Farrell, do you
that's
have
awesome.
stuff in there? Let me check. Let me take a look. Blair Farrell, are you in this thing? If you are, where are you? Tell us so we can read it.
Right. Aim and take a soft shot. Oh, what? This is really hard. Oh, aim at this ball into the hole behind it. Okay. Okay, let's do it.
Oh, shit. This is a really nice book.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
So
Right?
the idea is they talk about every single game alphabetically.
Yeah.
There's none that they skip. It's not like just first parties or.
No, I don't think so. Okay, come on. I want to get this ball in.
It's nice and glossy.
How do you know if you're doing a soft shot? Aim and take a soft shot at this ball and take a soft shot. Okay, come on.
So Blair Farrell says Hulk, Batman Forever, James Bond Jr. So I'm gonna find Batman Forever.
Where is Brett Weiss from? I think Blair Farrell knows.
So
I got it in. That was soft. Take a soft shot at this ball into the hole behind it.
how do I see who's attributed? Oh, there it is. Insider Insight from Blair Farrell
That's so cool.
on Batman Forever. Should I read it?
Yeah.
These were some of the bullet points highlighted in an epic commercial for Batman Forever, culminating with the tagline, "The real game begins." Seeing that commercial made me, an 11-year-old kid who wore his Batman Forever sweatpants and Chris O'Donnell Robin t-shirt, want the game badly. I remember browsing through the consumer's distribution catalog of publication in Canada, simply admiring the box art alone and waiting for the game's release. The first time I rented Batman Forever, I also rented Killer Instinct. I spent most of the weekend playing Killer Instinct, but I do remember getting to maybe the third or so screen in Batman Forever. And between myself and my brother, we couldn't figure out how to progress. It was only a few hours before we had to return to the game that we figured out that we needed to use the grappling hook. I think I had that problem too when I played this game.
Oh yeah, it was.
I remember playing that game and having this problem. Because I was a big Batman fan too.
Take aim and take a soft shot at this ball into the hole behind it. I've gotten it in a few times. This is a very frustrating mechanic. And that sound effect is driving me crazy.
So Blair Farrell says,
Come on.
It's easy to dismiss the infamous nature of Batman Forever today, but before it was released, there really wasn't a bad Batman video game if you exclusively played Nintendo consoles, thanks to Sunsoft and Konami. Without knowing it, awkwardly forced a 2D fighter control screen onto a side-scrolling brawler, I had anticipated only the realest Batman game ever with graphics like that in one of my favorite games, Mortal Kombat, which I probably shouldn't have been playing at my young age. Yeah, that's awesome that Blair Farrell is in this thing. Or any other chat members in this book?
Did he like Batman Forever? Was that a
think
positive
he just
thing?
has fond
memories
of it.
yeah.
I didn't have bad memories of it. I was a little kid, so I didn't know
Yeah,
like
you guys
what
were kids.
like what makes a bad game at that point. It's harder to
That was
tell.
a bad game, guys.
It was fun to play as
I
Batman.
hate to
Vic.
break it to you, but Batman Forever was a bad game.
The movie kind of sucks too.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer is not the best Batman.
All right, come on. So now what? Okay, that's soft. Get in there.
Oh, here's a good one.
This is terrible. Honestly, this is just so stupid and frustrating.
Is it as bad as Batman Forever?
I don't know what the hell I'm doing wrong, and this tutorial is awful. Get in there. Like, it's just...
So will we get out of the tutorial before the Let's Play in chat is over?
I don't know. This is so dumb. Oh, maybe I have to move. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to do.
I have a good question from Jordan Cunningham to distract you from the shitty game, Vic.
Okay, all right.
Let's
Let's try that again. It keeps telling me to do it again. Do it again!
What Mega Man X Legacy Collection? What platform?
Oh, yes, I didn't answer which version to get it on.
The Switch, because you can play it in bed.
Yeah, but I did notice a little bit of slowdown, which I think is probably appropriate for the old Super Nintendo cartridges and stuff. It ran really smooth, and the colors popped on Xbox. And that's probably where I will play it the most, but Blake's right. It's pretty rad to be able to carry it with you and dive into those awesome classic games anywhere.
Those colors are nice on the Xbox One, but you're not taking an Xbox One on an airplane.
No, you're not, but it's pretty nice to indulge in all that and then also look at everything in a super high res fidelity, all the museum pieces and all that stuff. I really liked it on the Xbox. Okay, and it looked great on PlayStation as well. Okay, what? So now fire. I'm gonna fire. This is terrible. I don't even know what the frack I'm supposed to do.
MSHO Jat says just tap it in.
I've been tapping it in.
Like just gently? Is it pressure sensitive or something?
I mean, that was a tap in right there.
What are you trying to do?
It's saying aim and take a soft shot at this ball into the hole right behind it. I mean, how many times do I have to do that? I've done it, so it's been a hard hit. This is so frustrating. Okay, come on, get in there. Okay.
You can't. What happens when you move the right stick?
Well, the right stick is your aiming reticule.
Yeah.
And then if I'm pulling back just a little bit, okay. Like that was a soft shot. Like what the? What is it trying to me do? What's it trying?
Can you adjust the? Because right now your cue is kind of pointing down a lot. Like you're gonna hit it really hard. Is there a way to move it so it's more straight on? Like see how it's.
I don't know.
Someone in the chat, if you know what.
This is junk. I mean, that was too hard, so let's try it again. I can't skip the tutorial. Oh, this is terrible.
Well, you know what my favorite saying about bad games is, that you can always just stop playing whenever
I mean,
you want.
honestly, this is one of the most frustrating tutorial sequences I can remember.
Jordan Cunningham says, Vic, are you pressing the R shoulder button or the trigger?
The trigger.
Okay,
aim and take a soft shot at the ball. Okay, so
you're supposed to press the button or the trigger?
I've been playing pressing the trigger to.
Well, try the other one. Maybe it's that.
No, it cancels it. Okay.
Is there an R button? That's what a couple other people are saying. R button.
Maybe if I tap in on the right thumbstick.
It's really good that the game is explaining this to us and not the chat.
Yeah. No. Oh boy. I thought this was just going to be charming
Maybe this is
and
the
cute.
joke. Maybe this is the joke, like, because it's supposed to be funny, right? Maybe they're just trolling you.
Oh my god. I'm giving this game like 2 more shots of this and that's it. We're going to try something else. This is junk. That was a soft shot.
People in the a couple of people are just saying press the R button, but you already did that.
Yes.
Do you want me to try?
Yeah, sure.
So what?
This
okay,
is
so we're
terrible. So you aim with the right thumbstick. So go and put your character somewhere. It seems like you can go wherever you want.
So just right here, right? Like,
Yeah.
Maybe I have to go further away.
That was too hard. Try that again.
But why is it? It's just saying try again. It's not like saying what we're supposed to
I
do
know.
differently. Why isn't it telling us?
I don't know.
Right.
This tutorial is
Aim and take a soft
BS.
shot at this ball into the hole behind it. Okay, so I'm doing that.
press the home button, then close the game. Abby Jameson says. I think let's try something else.
See, I did that.
Yeah, well done. Oh,
No, I just
how did you
because I
do
pressed the button, not the trigger.
And that made the difference.
Yeah.
But you
Isn't that what you did?
I did try that.
Well, it
Okay.
worked.
All right. I think I was just about to quit it.
It looked pretty hard when I hit it. I don't
Yeah.
know why it didn't look
Okay.
soft.
So bad.
Yeah, there's like no explanation or anything.
Oh, I missed. Okay.
Abby Jamison says the button you should press is the home button and then close the game.
I was about to take Abby's advice right there. I was losing it. Okay. Tutorials should not make you want to throw the controller away, you know? I'm a little like this.
Timberwolf is saying you really hate this. Are you gonna give it an 8 out of 10?
Yeah. Gets an 8.
It only gets an 8.
Come on, get in there. Oh. It's not like real pool, so you don't really know what it's gonna do.
This also has a really ugly color palette. I know that pool is a certain color, but
Okay.
it's
No.
like purple and green and blue is not
Well,
attractive.
this is just the opening sequence. I don't think it all looks like this. Oh boy. Okay, so I'm locked on this guy. Oh my goodness. Guys, this is not a fun game to play yet at all. I think you can tell. Okay, get in there. I could just go wherever I want. Okay. Get in there. It's a cool idea. I wanted to love this game.
Ken Jack Ben, Batman and Robin was the worst movie. Batman Forever wasn't that bad. Well, yeah, but of course Batman and Robin is worse, but Batman Forever is still kind of a lame movie.
I didn't mind Batman Forever.
Yeah, but
It was, I mean, I thought Kilmer was all right.
Yeah.
And Jim Carrey was pretty solid in that movie. Followed but it did look like Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey were not getting along. Okay, so I followed the 8-ball into the hole, and hopefully this stupid tutorial is over forever.
You having fun, Dick, with this game?
I was not having fun. You saved me, man. You got me to the next level, which I'm happy for.
Salvaged it. Now
Yeah.
watch it take a complete 180 and it gets awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be like an RPG with pool elements.
Yeah.
I don't know
And a
what's
really
going
bad
on here.
tutorial. Now, how would you have played that if you were high, like the target Adult Swim audience?
I think a lot of people play games completely high.
So how would you have figured that bit out?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe controllers should stop having 3 variations of R and L.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Would that
I
make
keep
sense?
having I was playing Tomb Raider
Yeah.
last week,
Yeah.
which I'm not allowed to talk about yet, but I was playing it on the Xbox One, and I'm a PS4 guy, So I kept pressing the wrong X button.
Yeah.
When the on-screen prompt was like press X, I would press where the X is on the PlayStation because that's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
And I kept like, oh fuck, and I kept screwing it up.
Right.
And I kept killing Lara because of that. So yeah. Sony,
All right.
Nintendo, and Microsoft need to get their act together and make all the buttons the
Well,
same.
if you have the R trigger and a prompt comes up
And it
for
says
the
R, yeah.
and then the R shoulder,
Yeah.
and then the R
Yeah.
thumbstick.
The
You're gonna
PlayStation,
confuse people.
at least in the Xbox, they have two variables like XR or LR
Yeah.
or what. I don't know. It's not just R shoulder and R.
Maybe Tommy's onto something with the Intellivision simple controls.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm just supposed to get all of these guys in. Okay. I didn't know that so much of this was going to be pool.
It's called Pool Panic.
Yeah, but I
thought it was going to be more like fun.
Golf Story a little bit. Okay, this is driving me nuts. It's like you got an itch you can't scratch,
Yeah.
right?
Well, it's 2 o'clock. We can wrap this up if you want, Vic.
See if you can.
What am I trying to do?
You're trying to aim at any of the colored balls and knock them into the pockets.
Trying to get purple into the.
Yep. Just not the 8-ball. That's gonna miss.
Oh, is there
it's stuck.
plants there or something?
Okay. He's stuck right there.
Okay, so what am I trying to do?
Get the red one in, and then you can move that one, I think. Oh. Okay. And then there was the Fantastic Four. What a stinker. Work away talking about that. Constipation. Yeah, it kind of feels like that Mondo Blasto. Sega Saturn Model 2 controller, best controller, only needs thumbsticks to make it the greatest of all time. Blake is gonna lose it. That's what Happy Console Gamer popped in to say.
Do you want to hear a funny story, Vic?
Yeah.
My dad is like freakishly good at pool.
Oh, yeah?
But I'm terrible.
Okay.
And I think it's always been a point of
Disgrace?
disgrace that
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
so terrible at it.
Did he play professionally or something?
No, I've seen him play. He's really, really good.
He's a shark?
Yeah. He was in the Air Force, and he would always play it during the Air Force, apparently.
Oh, that's cool.
Like,
Did he
I
ever
remember
sit you down in pool halls?
I remember
and
trying
make
to
some
play with
money?
him when I was like, not trying to make me be professional or anything, but I remember playing with him, and he would just be like, ugh. Like I could tell he was disappointed that I just sucked at pool. So.
Oh.
But that's all
It's
good.
kind of a sad story.
This game is nothing but sad stories for this game.
Timberwolf.
What did Timberwolf say?
He does bad games, Paul, and then he gives him a 7 and an 8.
Yeah, this is looking like a solid. This might even get like a 7.5.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a 7, which is like abysmal.
I don't know if this is a bad game yet. We've done the tutorial in one level.
Remember when he gave that Batman movie a 6?
I can find something good in everything, including Wet Dream would be naturally that would be good, Timberwolf.
No, because then you got to clean your sheets.
Oh, I see. Game of the year from Happy Console Gamer right here.
I was like, had
He
have
called
consoles
it.
in the house.
Yes. Okay, so we just go to the pins.
This game is enough to make him an unhappy console gamer.
Angry console gamer. It's making me an angry console gamer.
Oh, that one's got a bow tie.
See, when I saw some of the video stuff on this, it looked like it was going to be more interesting than just regular pool. So this looks okay. Controlling this cue is really.
Can you invert it? It feels like it's going the opposite way.
You know what I'm? Yeah, it's a weird thing, right? It doesn't feel natural. You feel like your arms are all twisted or something.
So there's like weird obstacles and stuff in the middle of the pool
Yeah,
table.
and I'm
So it's
trying
kind of
to-
like miniature golf,
Oh my god.
but miniature pool.
Oh, you know that feeling where it's just not doing what you want it to do and it's weirding you out? Okay. Oh, missed. All that setup for that. Okay.
Workaway says, Blake making sure we're not too happy today. That's my job. That's what I tend to do. I try to always bring people down.
It's Cranky Puss.
Yeah.
Yes. He's the realist.
Jordan Cunningham, Vic, have you played Cosmic Star Heroine?
No. What's that game all about?
I'll Google it right now and find out.
Okay.
This book is beautiful. I love the glossy cover.
Yeah, it's super. Makes you want to play Super Nintendo, right? Yep. As opposed to this.
As opposed to this shit.
Yes. Come on. This is making me want to play Kirby's. The Kirby mini golf game, whatever that was called.
From Wikipedia, Cosmic Star Heroine is a science fiction role-playing video game developed by Zeboid Games. It was released in April 2017 for the PS4 and PC.
Okay, come on. No, I have not played that game.
It looks very Japanese.
Come on! Oh my god, moving this queue around so you can properly... Oh, it's so frustrating!
Happy Console Gamer wants to know if you're going to see that Pooh movie tonight.
I'm seeing Winnie the Pooh.
Christopher Robin is
Yes,
called?
you're going to have the... Is he coming? Are you going to join me?
I'm assuming he's going to see it, if he's asking.
I don't think he's coming tonight. He said I'm busy. He's got laundry or something. He's got to wash his hair. Come on! Oh my god! Positioning this queue is the worst.
I'm upset just watching it.
You just feel like you have physical problems trying to adjust this thing.
Have they made a VR pool game?
Yeah.
That would work really well.
Yes. Oh my goodness, this is so frustrating. Come on.
You think it would be cheaper to buy a pool table in real life?
No. Those things would be expensive.
I can get a cheap one.
Then VR?
Yeah. VR's pretty expensive too, Vic.
True that.
You could probably get a used pool table on
This is a
Craigslist for a
weird
couple
game.
$100.
Like, why can you move around? That doesn't...
Because you're an anthropomorphic...
Okay.
Anthropomorphized pool.
Oh, and I can even jump.
Cube.
Okay.
Jordan?
I like the aesthetic. I mean, I feel like I would get into this if the controls were better.
Jordan Cunningham was saying that game, Cosmic Star Heroine, is coming to the Switch on August 14th.
Oh, okay.
So maybe we'll check it out
Bonk.
when it comes out.
Get in
now
there.
That we can play it in bed.
Okay, we're gonna clean up this table and then, oops, too hard. And then I think that's gonna wrap us up for the show today.
Say sayonara to this shitty game.
Okay, well, I don't want to call it shitty yet because I've only played it for 15 minutes, but 10 of those minutes were in that ridiculous tutorial. I mean, it's a, like, why would there be a different button to hit it softly when it's based on how far back you pull the queue? Why would they do that?
That's stupid, yeah. Thing is, though, a game like this,
I can't.
the mechanics can't get that much more complicated as you progress. So if you're not feeling it in the first 15, 20 minutes, it's not going to do anything for you. Like
True.
it's not gonna completely change the way the controls are.
True, and the story isn't really revealing anything. Can I actually push the other balls into a better position? This is not pool, and they're walking around.
Well, they should have. I don't have a problem with it not being pool because it's like it's a funny gimmicky game, but they should have explained stuff to you.
Yard. Okay, so I'm crushing it at Pool Panic. There we go. Jordan's saying that the game that he's talking about, Timberwolf figures the white ball is the one pushing everyone around. Go figure.
Oh, it's similar to Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, he says that what was the game that he was talking about that comes out on August 14th?
Cosmic Star Heroine.
Cosmic Star Heroine.
Looks like Chrono Trigger, so that's cool.
Okay.
I wonder what it says about Chrono Trigger in this thing.
Okay, you guys, that's a little taste of
Are we done?
Pool Panic, which made me angry. You don't like to see
made you
me angry.
Panic.
Yes. It made me panic a little bit because I couldn't get I felt like I just was having control issues in a big way.
Yeah, I felt that too as I was doing it. Okay, bye everyone.
Okay, you guys, that's gonna do it for Pool Panic. A little taste of that. I will probably give it a little bit more time, and I will endeavor to let you guys know how I really feel about this game. But yeah, not a very impressive opening to this game. Cool aesthetic. It seemed to have some promise, but But that's going to wrap us up for the show. We are coming back tomorrow with a brand new EP Live, so please do come back for that. In the meantime, we've got lots of other content for you to surf to and check out. And if you dig it, hit subscribe and that little bell. If you're so inclined, there's a sponsor button too. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, and play forever.